In the late 1920s, Rockford, Illinois was home to boxing's lightweight champion of the world, Italian immigrant Sammy Mandell.
Welcome to an audio version of an original article by Kathi Kresol, operator of Haunted Rockford Paranormal Events, Rockford, Illinois. This audio presentation is entitled Remembering Rockford's World Boxing Champ and contains the 2016 story of the same name.
Rockford has been fortunate to have many men and women whose reputations have put the Forest City on the map. One of these extraordinary people, named Sammy Mandell, came to light in the 1920s and 30s. Though most people now won't recognize the name, Sammy was once the boxing lightweight champion of the world. Sammy's story didn't begin or end in Rockford, but his name is forever tied with the Forest City. He and his brother Joseph started boxing when they were young. The boys would challenge men to fight them after work. Sammy's next step was working with Rockford trainer Honk Garrett, who owned a gym on East State Street. Sammy also began to fight as an amateur at Camp Grant. He was only 16 when he had his first professional fight. It was not long before Sammy's lightning-fast footwork and his devastating left hook earned him the nickname of Rockford Flash. Sammy also had something else going for him. Unlike most of the boxers of that time period, he was considered to be very handsome, which earned him the nickname of the Sheik. This nickname was given Sammy because of his resemblance to the very popular actor of the day, Rudolph Valentino. Another thing that made Sammy Mandell stand out was the fact that even though he reached a place of national recognition, he remained humble and proud of his beginnings. Sammy's family moved to America from Sicily in 1906, when he was only a couple of years old. The family left the small town where their ancestors had lived for generations. His mother passed away shortly after the family arrived in Rockford, and his oldest sister filled the void left by her mother's death. After he won his title, Sammy would buy his sister and father their own homes. In 1923, before Sammy won the lightweight champion title, Rockford held a grand banquet to honor their hometown hero. The Knights of Columbus threw the Grand Bash at the luxurious Nelson Hotel. Over 10,000 people lined the streets along the route just to get a glimpse of this hometown boy. The crowd cheered excitedly when he flashed his famous grin. Speakers at the banquet included Mayor Hallstrom and Illinois Lieutenant Governor Sterling. Sammy was presented with a beautiful Knights of Columbus ring by the Grand Knight of the local council, Edward Ziner. Every speaker mentioned the fine example that Sammy represented for all of the citizens of Rockford. Sammy's signature fight took place in 1924 when he faced Jack Bernstein. Sammy broke his hand in the second round. Bernstein realized that Sammy's hand was injured and for 4 rounds gave him such a horrible beating that most watching were surprised that the fight wasn't stopped. Those 4 rounds were agonizing to witness. The spectators were never sure whether Sammy finally found his bearings or if he had been pushed to his limit. But when the bell rang to begin the 7th round, Sammy came out of the corner with one arm hanging uselessly at his side and gave Bernstein the beating of his life. The fight was a draw and Sammy's reputation was born. Sammy won the lightweight championship title in 1926 when he was 22 years old in the first legal fight in Illinois at Chicago's Comiskey Park. He fought Rocky, Kansas. Sammy held the title until 1930 when he lost to Al Singer. Sammy would participate in 168 fights that included 28 knockouts and 8 losses. Sammy stayed in Rockford after losing the title and opened a gym with his brother where they trained new boxers. Sammy, his wife Elizabeth, and their son Richard moved to Chicago after World War II, where Sammy acquired a job as a collector for the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago. In October 1962, Sammy Mandell was inducted into the Illinois Sports Hall of Fame. His son Richard accepted the award for the ailing Mandell. Sammy died on November 9, 1967 in Chicago, and he and his wife Elizabeth are buried in the Oak Hill Cemetery in Janesville, Wisconsin. One newspaper quote from the day he died stated, "Sammy Mandell is gone, and a little more of the color and excitement of what boxing used to be died with him." Sammy's rags to riches story has become part of the rich tapestry of Rockford's history.